It's been a long. It's been a while. I do know that from the guy, the craftsman, I chose to get a shield made.
Hmm. Depending on what you picked for that, you can go ahead and add that to your character sheet. That's okay.
I believe it was a heavy shield. You said what was it? +1, +2, something there.
Effectively a +2 equivalent shield, but you could have like a +1 and a +1 enchantment if that was something you were looking at. Or you could just have the
Uh,
flat +2.
Oh, I
Those shield
remember what
enchants are
I
pretty cool.
chose. I went with like what was it? +1 Defiant Giant.
Sounds right.
Something like that, yeah.
So I'm not sure
How do
whether
I
or
make a custom shield like that anyway?
Drop base shield in your character sheet, and then you can hit edit.
Yeah, and then just rename it.
Yep.
Okay.
You can change parameters on it and stuff.
I got my returning javelin. Because, javelin do meta.
Was there
javelin do be
anything
meta.
that anybody wanted Eva to try and craft for them?
Actually, I do want to go. Oh, did we end up getting a number for everyone for what they were supposed to take for like a loot split, or did we even do that?
I don't
I
think
think
we
we
did.
Thought we
did.
did that.
I don't think we did that because I only have 600 gold. So.
Yeah. Same.
Uh,
Okay. Where do I edit here for the magic stuff, Paris?
so if you're, let me pull up your sheet. So when you look at the item, there should be like a little pen pointing at a square thing on the
Yeah, I'm in
right-ish
there right
side.
now.
Yeah. So if you go to details,
Yep. And I see enhancement bonus, so I'll go ahead and
yeah.
put a 1
you
in
can
there. Is there a place I put the other things though?
If they do like straight numeric changes, you can put that in changes.
It's
Well, you could also
circumstantial numeric changes, sadly.
okay. You could also do that in changes. There's a context notes section.
I do see a gold amount in the
Context
history of
notes,
the chat
context
game.
notes.
It looks like most people got 2,750 gold
Yeah,
pieces.
I'll
You might
try
have
and figure that
spent
out later,
it.
I guess. Right now I got the basics in.
I
Okay,
think,
okay.
yeah, I think many of you had already spent it because Ava was asked by Derek to make an amulet of natural.
Oh, I remember what I spent my gold on. I think I got Barding upgrade for Jumpy. Like made it back. I had
Uh,
shoot Derek. What's your character's name? It's been a month.
Darlin.
Darlin upgraded to magic.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it does seem like then
Yeah,
purchases
we
and all
did.
that are probably handled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just Darlin, for some reason, is poor as shit compared to, like, everybody else.
We're all poor too.
Yay, my AC
Got, like,
is entirely
30 to
trash now.
$40,000 worth of gold stuff, and I kind of have that, but that's because it's a hammer.
Okay, let me open up Chompy. Make
So
sure
I
he's got
have
his new
$20,000
stuff
of
figured out.
credit card debt. Credit card debt. Credit card debt.
Bum, 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 bum.
Everybody else has got total item values of like 30,000 gold, and I've got 17,000.
Well, someone had a really, really potent staff, I think.
You,
Dude,
Was it me? It
yeah.
was a
yeah.
healing staff. So technically, it's the party staff. I'm just carrying it.
Well, it was,
The staff of healing.
yeah.
The Uber
I want
staff.
to say there was another staff though, but I guess I'm wrong.
The only staff I know of.
Oh, I remember what I spent my money on. Ooh, yeah. That's cool.
I need a reminder. Been a minute.
Look at my gun.
I don't know, yeah.
Uh, Inventory. Oh yeah. It's been
Yeah,
a
those
minute.
Goldoy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was a very interesting choice of yours.
Yes.
That is such a bizarre effect, and I hope that your party members help facilitate the ability to actually get that to work. But it is very you.
Yeah. Same with my third level spells. Forgot about
Ava's,
those.
Ava's concerned now.
Oh, it's just trying to inflict confusion on enemies.
Ah.
He can do it
So
through
all
his
the
gun.
enemies will be like Syl.
He's not confused. He's just, on a journey. Oh, yeah. Everything's coming together. Oh, yeah, actually.
Oh yeah.
That's the other nice thing for you, for this level, Sylph. This is the level that, your bardic performances become, swift actions or move actions.
Yep.
No longer is it ever going to be a standard action for you to inspire the party. Very
Timing's
nice.
got good.
After 13th level, you won't even need the armor you're wearing anymore.
Nice.
You can just run around butt naked.
Not quite like that, but he won't be tied down to the material that it's made of.
Yeah, that's the three steel.
Yep. It's so good for bards.
Are singing steel weapons like pretty cool for bards?
They can be, yeah. Any item that is at least weighs 5 pounds counts for the effects of singing steel. I just couldn't validate putting it on his gun.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
That's sad. Uh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Come on, go, Chen.
I'm gonna go ahead and at him since it's 6:30.
Imagine being Gochin and being late.
Yeah, I can see what you mean there, Derek, in terms of like on paper it looks like you're behind the wealth curve, but you do have the party artifact.
Yes, I know.
It
Therefore,
does.
you're technically so far ahead of the curve we can't even see you.
And the Forge Father's half plate. I don't know if that's actually, is that reflecting genuinely what we rationalized that price to be? Curious.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It was chicken butt.
I like you looking at the knowledge skills tab. That would makes me feel a little bit better about Eva.
It does, doesn't it?
If only she could roll good when she has those.
That's
Let's just
Rowan's
stop.
problem. To be fair, you could take a 1 and identify CR2 creatures for
Hey,
most
look,
of
Ava,
the main
Ava and
ones.
me both have a knowledge in common of engineering.
Yeah, Eva's lowest knowledge is think
History and nobility. that's
history
like-
and nobility, yeah, at 10.
Bum bum bitty
I
bitty
knew
bum
he
bum.
Oh
was
my
gonna
god.
start singing.
Bum bum bitty bitty bum.
Somebody's been watching a lot of TikTok.
No, I just really love
No.
Eight Crazy Nights.
That would be
Yes,
me
the
who's
Crazy
watching
Nights is fucking
TikTok.
hilarious.
I've been watching TikTok. He's
It just so
been
happens that
hearing
one of
it.
my favorite movies got popular on TikTok.
Oh god, I'm getting
I like the
human
excuse.
feces.
Well,
My finger's in your mouth, kitty, but I don't feel no teeth.
one will go ahead and slip into game if and when he is ready. But well, I'm not gonna hold us back too much longer. You guys completed book 2.
Yeah.
How you guys feeling about it?
Yeah.
We lived.
You live. I think you guys actually pretty well handled a good portion of book 2, all things considered. There were a couple close calls, more with the DLC than anything else, but you guys, handled Red Lake Fort pretty handily.
And
Let's
we
not blame
downloaded
our
the
close
difficulty
calls on-
DLC. It was
Oh.
One of
mandatory.
those calls was we almost ate each other.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, there was that point in the Red Lake Fort, and that wasn't DLC at all. That was just a haunt that was in there. I almost forgot about that.
I almost ate Ava.
Yeah. It was definitely an experience, an adventure and a half, to say the least. But the party has returned victorious, a good month or so later after the events of Book 1 had ended.
We live.
You guys been away from True now for some time. And returning is, kind of like a homecoming for some of you, and for others of you, maybe it's a sigh of relief that you can actually kind of hunker down to what should hopefully be a safe and welcoming environment.
I
Oh,
would like
God,
to
we're gonna
add
start seeing
that
sigils
last time.
everywhere.
I'd like to add the last time the villagers saw Chompy, he was medium-sized.
Yes,
He's a big boy
indeed,
now.
he is a big boy. Upon your arrival back, you guys are able to see that much of the damage that had been done in the raid the month and a half or so back has been addressed to some degree, or is at least in still some stage of construction. Palisade walls are being reinforced. There are guardsmen of the Blackened Blades roaming about on patrol, and caravan is able to return to the town safe and sound. There are plenty of townsfolk that see your band of adventurers and welcome you with open arms. Several of the younger folk almost running up to Chompy and praising how big he's gotten and almost want to ask for dino rides. But you guys are able to settle back in as some of the caravan troop that you've collected up to this point disperse off to their own, not so much tasks, but wants, whims, and responsibilities of their own right. You guys are able to find your way to accommodations. Gochin, of course, has his own abode, which has been kind of overtaken by his sisters. Since he kind of left it, and their house was gonna need to be reconstructed, considering the prior events of, a boulder kind of smashing in and burning most of it down. That shop is gonna need some rebuilding. And
Sounds like a fault of poor construction. He should get that looked at.
yes, indeed. Maybe if the big bad wolf didn't come down and blow down the wooden house, they'll build it out of stone this time for sure. But for the rest of you, the town of Trunau is more than happy to set about accommodations, whether that be back at the Ramble House, whether that be in the barracks of the Blackened Blades for the interim guardsmen, as you are all honorary, deputies of the guard. The accommodations are really up to each of you and what you would wish to seek. Outside of this, the council is more than happy to have heard of your success in thwarting the efforts of Gorenseldek and the Twisted Heart tribe. And your payment for such acts had been granted out to each of you in swift procession. Sharing what information you had collected in your travels, be it from the fortification itself about the extended threat of giant kind from this storm tyrant Volstis, rumored to be gathering other giant folk in a place called Minderhall's Valley, it seems. You can set the Trunauan scholars to work in order to suss out the nature of this possible line of threat. But for now, each of you have a time to get some rest and relaxation, to hone your skills, be it your minds, your bodies, or otherwise, and to share some time with either the people you've come to know over your travels to and fro from Red Lake Fort, or with the citizens you left behind when you first came to this adventure path. Each of you has put out work orders or requisitions for unique pieces of gear in order to arm yourselves for whatever conflicts you decide to engage in the future. But I suppose I will leave the forum open to the party. Have a month of downtime, and while some of you have kind of started to poke at some aspects, I would offer the moment to have a scene in particular. Also welcome one of these.
Yeah.
You.
Eva's gonna go look for Agrit.
That is fairly easy enough. Considering that the shop is still under construction, she is easily found at either the Clamor or the Stagenstar, well, actually not Stagenstar, the Morning Hawk, abode. Because it is technically Gochin's abode. His sisters have just kind of overtaken it. It's no longer a bachelor pad. They've cleaned it up, Gochin.
And what's worse is that the girl that did it is like your sister, so you can't even.
Got little potpourri boxes everywhere now.
Got
You'll hurt your
scented
sister's
candles.
feelings if you change it too much, and yeah.
Ava's
Gochin's
gonna.
a big softy, so I doubt he will.
Yeah, Ava will walk in and look for her. Since she
Agreed.
was pretty easy to find.
Yeah, she's fairly easy to find. Agreed would, of course, be, going over what tomes have been recovered, even though it has been a month, it's the organization of what kinds of collections she can put back in the shop once it is operational and ready. The reconstruction has gone well, but they've not yet given her lease to, enter the, establishment and get things set. More pivotal buildings of the city have been required to be rebuilt first. But she would have, of course, turned to acknowledge your entrance with a reserved smile. Ava, welcome back. What can I do for you?
We lived,
So I see.
mostly.
Oh, who died?
A handful of individuals. Ava's struggling to remember now. It's no issue at the moment.
You don't seem particularly broken up about it if people died.
People die all the time. It's frustrating, but not unusual.
No one from the party seems to have come to an untimely end.
They remain in adequate health.
Well, that's good to hear. But surely you haven't come
You
just
were
to
an
say, hi,
adequate
I'm
meat
alive.
shield, and no one can ever take that away from you.
I've come to see how you're doing.
Well,
I've been told that it's been some time since we've been in town.
aye. Well, the shop kind of took a heavy hit in the raid, and so they've been rebuilding and getting things set, and I'm hoping to have the shop back at least to start restocking things in the next couple of weeks, but that would be if the contractors finally get off the lazy bums and, finish the paperwork and all. But that said, we've kind of just adjusted to living up the spare room and cleaning the place up. It's where Goshen could really use with a little bit more of a, hand when it comes to his place. Not that he's necessarily a, dirty figure, just all the random food leavings or, clothes just tossed everywhere.
Ah, yes. It's not unusual for him, unfortunately.
We didn't touch the workout room. They kind of fermented a bit, and we're pretty sure evolution took over.
Disgusting.
Yeah, he's gonna have to clean that when he walks back in.
Good to see that the town remains functional.
Hey, no small part to you and your friends.
Hmm.
Sarah wouldn't be here if it weren't for your help, so again, you have my thanks. Of course, if Gertrude didn't help save his sister, I would be right pissed.
Indeed. Ava kind of looks like she's uncertain how to bring something forward to speak about before she just kind of clicks her tongue frustratedly. There's something I wish to discuss with you, as you're the only individual that I trust to be in a teaching role.
Aye, what's got you perplexed?
Recently I've grown irritable. Perhaps that's not the right word. I've grown wrathful, I suppose would be the best term. And I can't quite understand why.
Well, when about the time did you start becoming wrathful? You didn't come across any strange seven-pointed stars, did you?
7-pointed stars.
Mummer's Tale from Varesia.
Curious. No, there was the point, I think, where it grew to my notice was in an encampment full of giants and others of their ilk. They were doing terrible things, which normally frustrates me, but doesn't lead me to wrath. They were, well, let's just say the things they were doing were enough to leave a haunt, and quite a vicious one at that.
Right? Emotions are quite a powerful thing when it comes to living in the dead. They tend to
Yes,
manifest in those that still have something to hold on to. And if you're feeling particularly wrathful, maybe you've become haunted. Or,
I
let me ask you this. When you became wrathful, what was the? Was there something that tickled your brain there in this wrath that felt a little close to home?
Close to home. She kind of doesn't flinch, but definitely looks away and seems to be not thrilled about the prospect.
Now
I'd prefer to stay far away from home.
that I know, you came to me and looked to gain some guidance and some, well, call it what it is, safety. I know that things weren't exactly peachy where you decided to leave, and I said I wouldn't pry too much, but you gotta understand, I do have at least some wherewithal to background check anyone I would possibly deem as an employee. At least get a basic idea. And I can say that, dear, you might have come across this stroke thing called emotions. And I know you don't like engaging in them all that often, but maybe in this instance, a little introspection as to why you might be wrathful might give you the answers you're looking for.
So not a magical phenomenon.
We could still
Unfortunate.
certainly check for that. I bet Tayari would be a pretty good look for that as well. Checking for any magical maladies, but no, darling. I do believe that maybe you might have what soldiers call post-traumatic stress response.
Hmm.
Were there any other
Unfortunate.
points in your journey where you came across something particularly sinister or, well, advantage taken of folk that rightfully couldn't defend themselves that set you off a little bit?
There were, yes. Though at the time, I believed it was more of a apt solution to a particularly nasty problem. The reoccurrence is what had me frustrated. My actions were less logical, taking care of the creature we had dealt with without gaining everything we could from it.
Look, none of us are perfect. If something happens that isn't exactly the optimal way to handle things, that's not necessarily a failing. You're a smart girl. You know how to find answers where most would be relatively stumped, and that's a good thing. But maybe on occasion, sharing some of these frustrations with your friends, and maybe they have a different perspective that could help you get an answer in the moment.
Perhaps that is the most efficient strategy.
I'm sure you got a few empathetic souls within your group.
Ava's struggling to think of anybody outside of Athene, and she doesn't want to bother Athene.
Just waiting appears through my
The idea enters her mind. She shivers and starts to feel one of those emotions.
big old smile waving by a tree.
All I got to say there, lass, is that it's not something to run away from. Understand, sure, and know when it's proper to let it all out. I don't think I've seen you cry a single time since knowing you, and I gotta say, it's downright unnatural. But you're you, and I'm not here to judge it.
Interesting. I will ponder the thoughts you've laid in my head. perhaps it is time for a bit of introspection.
And if you need, the doors are always open. Come and visit. We can have another chat. Pontificate upon what it is you feel like you want to look into. Can't say I'm necessarily a right shrink, but I do like helping those that I consider friends and family.
I appreciate the offer. Also, it seems that I've finally picked up that knack for making things that you've been hinting at.
Fantastic.
So if you ever need some assistance in crafting anything while I'm in town, I'd be willing to help.
Well, if you find that you got some spare time, I could use a spare hand on a few projects, and of course, good work is always, given its rightful pay. So if you're not out doing things with your friends or helping them with their own projects, I got some time for you.
Eva will nod her head. I'm going to go find somewhere to sleep for the night.
She nods, knowing that Coachman's Place sadly does not have the residency to host all of your party.
Chompy alone takes up 2 whole bedrooms.
Right. So Ava wanders off to go find accommodations and can ponder herself over the course of the month. Maybe we'll revisit her later down the session. But let's see what other shenanigery some of the other party members want to get into. Who wants to go next? And if none of you volunteer, I will roll a die.
Do it. Do
Roll,
it.
In
I
the
want
event
to
die.
scare you.
Roll
In the
the
image
die.
of Ethna waving her hand rolls across the DM's mind.
So let's see.
You've been volunteered, do not resist.
I'm going to roll a d5 and I'm going to go down the list.
Oh boy.
Speedings will continue till morale improves.
All right. So 1 is Amethyst, 2 is Kuperu, 3 is Derek List, 4 is one of these, and 5 is Velrus.
It's a 2!
It's a 2! It's a wow. Brain.
I was
Kuperu.
3.
You're 2.
I was 3.
No, you're two.
Nope. I'm going off the Discord list.
I'm 3.
Yep.
Yep, it's in alphabetical order.
Okay, fine. Well, Dolgus is doing a little religious service. Specifically, he is giving dino rides on Chompy with the kids and giving them some block rug face paints.
I'm sure that there's a number of people within town that are enjoying. Well, they don't understand Buckrook face paints. They are enjoying chompy dino rides through town, and people, while normally would avoid you in most towns, it seems that Trunau has come to understand the visage that is Dolgus and Chompy.
Chompy's good with kids on account of being a kid himself.
Yeah, he is a fairly young dino. That is true. Is there anyone in particular that you would like to chat with or engage with over
I'm
the
pretty
course
sure
of this
the
one?
Elven
Not really.
Druid keeps to himself.
Silvermane? No, he's out and
Yeah.
about while he does kind of like wander town and kind of is a quiet and stoic figure. He is around for you to go chat with if you so chose. Although you have to understand that his communication back to you is probably going to be in some merit of sign language.
You know what? Lois will probably respond in kind. So Lois will go up to him, not even say a word, just slap something into his hand, give him a pat on the shoulder, and walk away.
What do you hand him?
One of the scales from the Hydra thing we killed. Thing we made, I think it was Chompy's armor out of. Could be
Mm-hmm.
wrong.
Yeah.
In Dolgus's mind, he's showing him a token of respect, but I don't know how the old Silverman will take it.
I think as you approach Silvermane, he's probably watching over the Hope Springs. You could tell that upon arriving at the Hope Springs, the place where Chompy actually had fallen before, the dino himself seems to be a little reticent to approach the location. But the massive hole that once was made within the wall of the Hope Spring does seem to have been resealed. This time, instead of magical, weavings of the, stones and rocks, it seems like there is a great deal of like larger boulders and general debris that have kind of been shoved in to make it harder to actually get within. It still looks natural for the facing of the waterfall and does still give this look of general, scenic ambiance.
Still not swampy enough for Dolgus's taste.
Oh, 100%. But there are fresh, swamp reeds that are growing at the edge of the Hope Springs itself.
It's a start.
You even see, like, the coilings of what look like, the green plants that coil into rolls and stuff at the top?
Kinda?
There are some of those that seem to have grown at the edge of the Hope Spring. Kind of reminds you of the tale that, embodies the symbol of Bachrog himself. But approaching Silvermane, he would look to Chompy and almost give a, not agreeable, but in a grand appraising, smile towards the size of the dino. And as you kind of like palm the scale to him, he would look at it, and as you're kind of making your way back, you might kind of cock your head back just to catch a glimpse of maybe the reaction, and it would seem that Silvermane has understood this gesture and almost seems to affix it to some of the other little trinkets and ornaments that adorn his
Pick up a
own,
lot
like,
over the years.
right, onto his own leathers. You've seen to have paid your respect to the elders and the druid of Trunau. Chompy's tail wags, quite excitedly as it ends up locking on to the southern district, and away he goes. And I'm sure that you would probably follow, knowing that Chompy's tail is a sign of direction of interest.
Absolutely.
You'll, of course, eventually find that since the arrival of your party has been noted by the townspeople, that the promenade, number 4, where events tend to be held, seems to be having a bit of a hero's return, like, feast and fair of sorts. Small-time vendors with trinkets and goods are out and about selling things. Kids are having fun playing games and getting, little festival candies. And, Chompy's just there for the energy and free food.
Indeed. But if they want to play with Chompy, time to break out the face paints.
Indeed. You get several children that are now running around with, Bachrog face paints, and some of the adults are a little like, this is kind of funny, but like, what's going on?
Yes, just a random dwarven hobo druid painting Lovecraftian symbols on children.
But they find it all in good spirit and fun.
He'll probably also put like little like very crudely drawn chompy heads on their faces as well.
Give them the option. Do you want this or do you want this?
Oh no, you misunderstood Dolgus. He's all in. He's doing both.
Oh, okay. All right, I
Just
see.
start painting faces.
I will drop one
That's
gold
awesome.
coin to cover the cost of the paints.
Yeah, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But, there are markets that are more than capable of covering the cost of general paints and goods. But yes, eventually, of course, you will get your shield as promised from your friend within the caravan.
Yes, my AC is
Dregar.
now not entirely sucky. It's 19.
Hey, that's not bad. And against giants, it's
21 in.
21, yeah. That could save your life. That could really save your life. Do you have the Dwarven racial that still gives you +4 versus giants?
I don't know.
If you do, that could bump you to a 25, which would be pretty solid. But yeah, no, Dregar would, of course, hold out on his end of the bargain, and
Okay, let me see. Defensive training, yeah, trade out. I don't think I would ever trade out defensive training unless it was something really fitting for the character. At
right.
least not in this campaign. Just checking. No, 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 no. Yep. No, I didn't trade it out. I don't see anything I would have traded it for.
Yeah, so a respectable armor class against giants might save
That'd
your
be
life
much
one
higher
day.
to hit anyway.
hmm But it does seem that people are just happy to have you back. Where might Dolgus be staying over the course of the month? Is he hanging out at the Ramble House with, Chompy getting a nice place in the stable suite, or is he staying with the stable suite with Chompy and just kind of getting to enjoy the outside and the stars?
Normally, he would before all this, he stayed in the suite with Chompy. Now he tries to get a room with Chompy.
Oh, tries to get a room. Well, sadly, the Ramble House is a little too small for Chompy, considering it's purposely built. Yeah,
There is
technically.
about 15 minutes of comedy where Chompy is trying to fit inside the smaller hallways.
Oh yeah. Well, the
He's
problem
barely
is
able to stick his head in.
the problem is that Cham Laringfast is a halfling woman, and on purpose, the Ramble House is just a slight bit smaller than like medium size to make it somewhat more uncomfortable for medium-sized folk to want to stay there. Because, Cham's been traditionally known as a little bit of a speciesist. But, while you, Dolgus, fit perfectly fine, Chompy is having quite the time squeezing through any of the smaller location of the Ramble House. So,
Yep.
definitely much better to see if there's a place for rent of sorts, or, whether they're able to house you somewhere. But it does result in a comedy hour of just no, the Ramble House cannot house Chompy in the manner you're asking.
Shame. They really ought to include sizing quarters for dinosaurs.
It wasn't a thing before you showed up, and now they're considering it. The Ramble House, not so much. Chernow, probably. but good to know.
Next time we come back from an adventure here, if we ever do actually return here, rather than just keep going forward, Chompy will probably be bigger.
I know, right? Who knows? Let's go ahead and see what another one of our friends are doing. Do I have volunteers, or am I going to have to roll a die?
Roll that die. Roll that die.
All right, we're going to go in reverse order this time. Valrus is going to be 1. One of these is going to be 2. Derek is going to be 3, and Amethyst is going to be 4. Amethyst it is.
I knew it was gonna pick me next. I just had that gut feeling like it's gonna be a 4.
I paid it off.
Returning back to Bernal, you get the ability to settle in where you like. What's Ethna's time back in Chernal look like?
She first thing she'd do is she'd go and put all of her stuff away at the Ramble House,
Fair enough.
and then after that she'd just kind of patrol the town, check in on how things have changed in the last month and a half. She has no real plans. She's just kind of acting like a soldier.
Fair enough. Offering some assistance to the Black and Blades. Are you communicating with them at all, or are you just kind of doing this as a solo bit?
Kind of a solo thing.
Okay. All right. Well, your added presence to the daily, individuals walking about town definitely does set an ease about for the townspeople. While the orc raids are known to be not necessarily too much of a threat at the current time, there are still plenty of people who have the feelings of unease, You don't just get over the recency of an attack. There's still people that are grieving, that are adjusting for the loss of their loved ones. Others that are rebuilding businesses and relations. The town suffered just as much as, you guys did in the midst of the attack on the city in certain degrees. But it is a town that is recovering. There are people that are actively about the community, making sure that damages from the hailing rocks are mended. Most important figures of defense have been fixed by this point and have been reinforced. You can see that while the Black and Blades number has diminished a bit, there's the occasional soldier with a banner from the Knights of Ozum that wanders the town as well in order to assist in the relief effort. Seems that in the time away, Vigil had been notified of Trunau's current circumstances. And so, if you take a moment and chat with any of the townsfolk, you don't necessarily have to speak with the knights themselves, you would find that there are a number of volunteers who are allowed leave to either check on distant family or be able to just altruistically come and assist in the efforts of their neighbors while they are typically busy with the defense of the border of Blastwall. The stop that Trunau offers for trade caravans and supplies to the nearby nation is just as equally important. During this time that you would, of course, be able to get some time alone, get some time to study. Arwen's progress has been quite remarkable in the days after return. At this point, you've probably gotten him to be able to learn up to about 3 languages to some degree of fluency, as after having gotten a grasp on Common, it seems that the transition to 2 other languages would soon follow. The maturing of this creature as a full-blown familiar finally seeming to take some hold. So if you want to note down 2 other languages outside of Common that Arwen can know, that is up to you. The requisite is that you have to also know the language.
Yep.
or have gotten Ava to help at some point, and then you could steal a language from Ava. Up to you.
I don't even. I'd probably have him learn Celestial and Draconic.
Fair enough. During this time, you would possibly get a visit from. Let's see. Seems Calran would visit you, considering that she herself came from the knighthood. It seems like she too has noticed their presence, and having heard the reports that you were skulking about town kind of on your lonesome, it seems that she has taken it out of her own drive to come check in on you. How fare you, Ethna? Out for a stroll?
Always out for a stroll. And just old habits die hard.
So it seems. Is this something you were fairly used to in your earlier adventuring days?
Early night days, maybe.
All right, you did make mention that you had prior relations with Lady Augusta.
Prior relations make it sound so scandalous.
Yeah. Yeah. I did a lot of patrol back in my day. God, that makes me sound old.
Regretfully, it does. I feel quite your junior when it's put that way. Though I suppose that is of relative truth. I've only been with the Knights for half a decade.
You're such a baby.
Well, I wouldn't put it that way.
But no, yeah, it's been a long time since I did that, but just drilled into your head in training, just to patrol and wander and watch things. It's a bad habit.
Why not take such a watch and engage with those around you? It sounds like you've kind of kept quite to yourself since the return.
I've checked in from a distance.
Not quite the same as checking in person.
No, unfortunately not. I probably should. I just wanted to let everyone settle in. This is
I understand.
for the most part, most of their homes, or they were here longer than me.
I'm quite sure. Although, to my understanding, most of the party didn't quite have established ties here. I mean, Gochin and Ava had pre-established places of residence, but everyone else, I think, is kind of dispersed to wherever the accommodations can be found. What do you take of the influx of relief aid from Vigil? Quite happy to see that my fellows have decided to take a step for what's right outside of their borders.
I think they're doing a good thing, even if I don't agree with them.
What's there to disagree with?
The principle of it.
I'm afraid that I feel I'm missing context.
Remember our conversation that I no longer believed?
Ah, and Iomade, yes. I too am a little surprised, as normally Iomade, while good in spirit, It's usually more concerned with the heroism and the engaging the enemy rather than what others might consider acts that are more akin to Sarenrae or Desna's field of influence.
The day that I stopped believing, most of my comrades ran or died.
I do understand how that can be disheartening. World-shattering in some instances. I felt my own mind slipping into doubts, into, well, considerations, a possibility I didn't want to consider before you all had rescued me from the outpost. Something which I will never stop thanking you all for.
It's called doing the right thing.
Yes. I hope to continue to be doing the right thing. So long as I have a good grasp as to what that is. Well, I could, and very well right, return back to my outfit, be it to Farine or be it to Vigil proper. I feel that there's more to do. The revelations that you and yours had discovered while amidst the fort, despite the words you had left me on finding my ancestor. I feel there's more that my line must do, and so wherever you and your allies go, I would like to offer my aid, whatever that may entail. Be it mending your wounds in order to preserve your resources from checkpoint to checkpoint, or to defend what resources we carry with us.
I gladly accept your offer. I'm sure the others would too.
Just hope that the dwarf doesn't try to convince me that his god's going to, what is it that they say, convince us of the madness?
I can't promise that one.
An image of stealth would cross Anthony's mind.
She'll try not to throw up.
Everybody else already did.
What is it that you feel we will be pursuing in the coming months?
I'm sure we'll be looking into what we found at the fort.
Do you feel we will have time for the answers that you were seeking? This mysterious foundation by which you had come across, or do you feel that will fall to the back burner?
Out of character, I forgot what that was.
You had found the journal.
Oh, right, the journal. She'd still be looking into that, or trying to.
If that is something that you wish to spend time on over the course of this month, you can certainly make a couple checks in regard to it. We can add some aid to it if you're extending out resources to be brought to Trunau in order to look up this endeavor. Depends on how personal or how open you want this research to be. If you want it close to the chest, there's limited options as to what can be done. But if you want to make this a little more open, public knowledge, then you may find that there are resources to tap into. No guarantees, but there are resources that could be tapped into. what the ramifications of keeping it close to the chest or having it out in the open, you don't know. Keep the faith.
Mm. Hmm. I think in Athene's character, she would keep it close to her chest, even though I would do it publicly. So we'll go with close to the chest. She'd probably only bring it up to like a select few people of the caravan, but beyond that, she wouldn't make it public.
Caravan only. Then what I would ask of you is a knowledge local, a knowledge history, and we'll go from there. If you do not have these skills, you may ask the assistance of one of your party members, or I can have one of the caravan members roll in your stead.
Okay. She said local.
Local and history are the two that I need from you first.
And then she does have history. What the fuck?
Wow. Damn.
What the fuck? What did I do?
Well, that just happened.
Two of them.
You may still request aid of someone else, but you're keeping it to the caravan and your party members, so it just depends on who you want to talk to. Wow.
I feel like Ava would be the only one that might have both of those. So I probably would ask her.
Oh, hello. Are you looking for me?
Yeah. I need some help. It's weird to ask. So she'll hand over the journal to Ava.
What's this?
This was in the drawer, the nightstand drawer of Quintaris's bedroom when we were back at the Fort Everstan.
Oh, curious.
My name's in it, along with a bunch of other people, and I'm trying to figure this out.
Ava will raise an eyebrow. Oh, very interesting. Let's see what we've got here then. Local and in history?
Local then history.
Local and history.
Wow.
25 and 23.
These are not things that Ava knows instantaneously. The checks that both of you are rolling in this instance is the culmination of about a week's worth of effort and looking into things. So after a bit of time, Ava can come back to Etna with some information regarding her inquiry. From the local, it would seem that after the fall of Castle Farine, it would seem that Lady Gasta, actually Augustine, sorry, mixing campaigns. Augustine had taken the time with her own family assets to basically go through each and every name and family of those that had been, how would you say, those who had fallen, those who had taken the weight of the burden, and those who had sacrificed in the choice that she had made back at the fall of Castle Farine. While She could have very well tried to entrust what messages were being passed along between the fortifications. She kept it to herself. This had cost many their lives, many their sanity, and in Ethna's case, a great amount of trauma. In a attempt to make amends for things, it seems that the amounts that are next to the names within this journal correlate to portions of Augustine's monetary wealth, both as a minor noble and as a leader of some of the soldiers of Ozum. The question mark next to Ethna's name seems to be up in arms as to what could even be of value to return to her. The history check gives Ava the understanding that this foundation that she had basically put together is outposted at a place called Shinneman's Fortune, I believe. Pull up the book real quick just to confirm that name. Which is a small hamlet of sorts within the Mindspin Mountains. A place that is refugees, or that is a refuge for, like, retired veterans to kind of live out their lives a bit more peaceably. It receives regular munitions from Vigil as kind of a, like, continued support. Shinneman's Fortune does seem to also be somewhat of a resource encampment, be it logging or mining. And so they receive regular exchanges between Lastwall and this established outpost as kind of a way of, giving back to one another. It would seem that there are a few others that may have survived the travesty of what befell Castle Vereen at this location. It is now, between the two of you, that I will require a geography check in order to determine its location, so that you may, if you chose, seek it out yourselves.
So Athena is inheriting a small castle?
No, not necessarily.
We're gonna get a castle.
Shinneman's Fortune is definitely not a castle. In fact, it is barely a hamlet. It hosts a small amount of people, but it is a place of dedicated individuals and hardy stock.
It's like a 23 and a 19.
Indeed. The 23 will be enough in order to, on a map, be able to point out the location of this wayward settlement. And so when the party decides to actually start moving once more, you will be able to head to the village known as Shinneman's Fortune.
Nice.
The populace consists of an almost entirely prospectors, veterans, and other hardy stock people claiming large swaths of land along a stream, and the settlement is uncharacteristically spread out, which might kind of lend to the mentality of the individuals who are all kind of trying to find their own slice of, peace and retirement. The villagers mostly prospect for gold and silver and gather lumber for, nearby trade. They're not particularly wealthy, but they do seem to earn enough of a stable income through the Knights of Ozum and provisions that the surrounding lands provide whatever else they may need. They get to thrive upon their independence, both as individuals and as a community, and seem to have a small council of elders that provide what little government the village actually needs to function. The council's primary function is to represent the villagers as a single business entity for the most part, for the purpose of trading with anyone outside of the Foundation. In all, the residents are a hardy folk and usually quite capable of defending themselves, considering their former military background. But, the location where they're at is still, of course, dangerous territory. You can find all sorts of dangers within the mines or the foothills of the mountains. But in gleaning this information, I'll let Ava and Ethna kind of finish up their little words.
Seems like somewhere we should stop by before we continue into things too much further.
I agree. I'm wondering what's there.
Perhaps it'll be worth the journey. Though I anticipate it being worth your while, at the very least.
If I even want it, depends on what it's gonna be. If it's land, I don't need land.
Regardless of what it is, it's better to make use of it than let it lie fallow, right?
This is true.
Waste not, want not, and all that. And even if it comes from individuals you'd prefer not to associate with, better to put their resources to use than let them squander it.
Then we will add that to our journey log.
Sure. I believe that's a good point to move on to another one of our wayward party members. We only have 3 left.
Roll, die.
Read the chat.
Oh, Silth wants to go next. Okay. All right.
So how dare you ruin the tradition?
he got hyped.
Well, I didn't want to. I was being patient since work.
Fair enough.
I've questioned someone answered.
So, as a little bit of a recap as to how things have gone down, let's start with where Silth has been after getting back from the journey. Things are settling down. People are finding where they want to reside and bunk down. Is there anything immediate that Silth would do to get his gear in place where he might try to rest his head before approaching this small scene?
After getting his face painted, he would probably go to the tree when he first entered the town and just kind of plop there and I don't know, this is where he first gazed in at the town before the festival with the Hope Sword ceremony, and he met Jess there for the first time and kind of formed that little mutual thing. So he
Okay.
would go over to that tree.
And just kind of reminisce a little bit.
Yeah, just sit down with one leg up, arm on the leg, just thinking.
Okay. Is there anywhere in particular he'd try to make his residence for the month?
He'd either be at the Ramble House, not in the room that he was at last time, just in fear of being robbed, or he'd ask Roddy if he could shack up with him, or he'd just want to mosey off to Ruby, one of the two, well, one of the 3.
Yeah, I mean, Roddy would be more than happy to have you as a bunkmate and allow you to stay at the Longhouse.
Oh, Roddy, it is.
It seems that in some contexts, while he knows he's irreparably fucked up, like the kinship that you two have been able to kind of share, be it competitive or otherwise. It's almost like having, not so much a replacement for a sibling, but definitely somebody who kind of gets what's going on.
Oh, for sure. Sylph kind of feels the same way about Roddy.
But to
I
lead
refuse to
into
accept any Roddy redemption arc.
to recap a bit for those that may not have been keeping track of the reading, at some point during the course of this month, Sylph, possessed by a craving for answers and thoughts that have kind of been simmering in the back of his subconscious mind, finally racks up the courage to make his way back over to the caravan, wherein he would, after making his rounds, head on over and give a good sturdy knock, and with an overflowing amount of nervous emotion running through him, I'm trying not to stop, knocking more than one. Pushing through the feelings, he got a little bit of a rhythmic beat and began to sing the fortune teller a song. After which, he was left with a pregnant pause of silence for a bit of time before the door to the modest but elaborate wagon cracked open, and inside Sylph could see and smell the exotic aromas that kind of passed through from burning incense, fragrant flowers, and sweet delights. There seemed to be Varisian motifs in the art that, kind of coaxed him to enter the back of the wagon. As the fortune teller would kind of look over to him and invite him in. Sylph, in the entreatising act, the tempting smells and visage of the elaborate artistic traits of the wagon would enter and complement things as he got seated. And therein, Valana, the fortune teller, would, ask him what it is that she might do for him this afternoon. He's had some time to relax here and for now and make some purchase requests. And it's here that you may begin poking at your questions there, Sylph.
Okay. So it would seem you know quite a bit, just about a lot of things, and it's very strange. You're very strange. Like not in a bad way. But you said something here in this town. You said a few things, even out journeying, which I find very odd. You've said the name that I used to go by, and is how do you know that? And like you have all these insights on things that like have yet to come or yet to be seen. You're just odd. I can't put my finger on you.
Well, I have been around for quite some time, and I know a thing or two when it comes to the adventuring types. Needless to say, I consult my cards in order to glean some divinations, and in other cases, you can find out a lot about people when they leave themselves in the nights of slumber, or when they leave about a trail that gives a grand description of who they are. I have an idea of where each of you have come from. I've seen adventurers come near and far, and I do have premonitions of things to come. Never accurate in full, no. But I do see things that others simply do not. In the personal case of your history, it really wasn't that difficult. A couple of divination magics can lead to a number of answers about individuals. Your name is of public record back in Andoran, even Taldor, believe it or not. Though some may believe you dead, I have, at least on good authority, that such a case was not true. Some public endeavors and acts of goodness that have earned you and a few of your cohorts and accomplices a positive reputation amidst the Andron wilderness, dealing with kobolds and things of the like. This is not your first adventuring party.
It is not.
Although I have to say that this one does seem a far margin more successful.
Well, really wouldn't say successful. We've done well, but I don't know. I don't think it'll replace. I guess the success that I felt with my last group.
People do not replace other people, at least not in the means of emotional connection or bonds that are forged. But they can be bandages to wounds not yet seen. But yes, I am strange. Needless to say, I feel that history tends to repeat itself, and so I try to pay attention to these occurrences and repeat instances. This is the second time that Trunau has seen an occurrence of giants invading and heroes rising up to trounce their number. Maybe it's more. Maybe it's not. I did not know until your party actually formed that you would be who you are.
You knew of me
Arts,
before. What did you think of me before this?
A glimpse of possibility. Unrealized potential, much in the same as the rest of your motley crew. Which is the only reason that I even stepped forward to offer any aid upon your quest of adventure to the open plainlands of Belkson. Were it not for me, you would have been relegated to a rather devious boat ride. A challenge I can give. For it is the only way that you are able to actually receive reward. Beyond this, you are left to your own devices. I would like to see this loop finally end.
So we have to do the right thing then.
You already are?
He's gonna hold out his hand to shake hers. Then I want to properly introduce myself. I am Bradley Landergram, the second son of Baron Bradley Landergram.
Indeed.
It is nice.
Well met. I am but a humble fortune teller. Valana is the name by which you may refer to me by. Understand, you will not find me on any records if you decide to backtrack things.
And Silth would put his hand on his chin and he'll go, well, that's just not fair.
History does not remember those that do not make an impact upon its weave. So it's said that history is written by the victors, is it not?
Very true. But it seems you've had some fair share of, I guess, victories. You're here. You're alive.
He gives a coy smile.
Do you by chance happen to know the name Adalea?
One of your previous members, if I'm correct.
Yes. Do you? Uh, you're so strange. I since you probably already know all this. So when I ran, I mean, she wasn't done. I just ran. Is she alive?
That I do not know. While I have looked into brief stints of each of your histories, I do not know everything.
If there was just one person left from the Caden Company, I don't know, I feel like I could apologize and at least not, I don't want to lift the burden off my chest. I just want one of them to know that I'm sorry.
Well, there are magical ways to determine such answers. You could ask the divines. Those of holy magic have a number of spells that would be able to give you a simple yes or no to at least a few questions you may have. Of course, this magic is not easily come by for a town such as Trunau, but you might be able to source something from Vigil in your interim time.
Oh, like magic stuff. I know someone that has a lot of that. She's really short, but she's cool though.
While your friend of the arcane arts is certainly talented, I do believe that even this magic is beyond her current depths. I
see.
speak of divination magic. While I cannot give you these answers at this present moment, you could possibly procure them from... Oh, actually, I might be misspeaking. One moment. That is lower than I thought it was. Let me pull this book open. I need to double check Trunau's stat block. I think you can only get third level magic here. Huh. It isn't there. So where is it? Brilliant Players Guide? Didn't think it was. I don't think they just give you that information as a player. Needs to be Battle of Bloodmarch Hill. Oh, there it is. I just completely skipped past it. Oh. Okay. Curious. Who has that, though? Oh, that's who has it. Okay. That makes sense.
Someone has something I can use.
Yes, it's still going to cost you money, though.
Oh,
Lots of money.
I only
But
have
you're
like
like, you're
400.
basically just a dishonored noble. You should have money.
Yes, but I don't have the family fortune.
Actually,
Don't you know that as an adventurer you'll have more money than most nobles? I'm hearing excuses.
well, luckily, the casting services for a spell is caster level times spell level times 10. So, caster level required for this is 7 times 4 times 10. And then there is a material component cost for this of another 25 gold pieces. So if you have 305 gold pieces, you can get a divination cast.
No, let me check my gold. I probably don't have all that. I might have almost all of it.
I mean,
I have 287 gold.
you just need the material component cost.
What's that?
So you need 305 gold, right? You
Yeah.
need incense and an appropriate offering worth 25 gold pieces.
I have a light crossbow.
I mean, a light crossbow could probably be traded for enough incense. And you do know some people who are in trade.
I do.
So Volana would inform you of this divination spell and be reminded, yes, actually, I do believe the priestess of Sanctuary is ripely capable of such magic.
I think I'm gonna have to go and get myself one of these divinations. Sylph would not stand, but he would rise to his knees and reach out his hand again to shake.
She'll take your hand and give it a firm shake.
I appreciate all your answers, and I appreciate being able to be myself around you. You're only probably going to hear this deep and more soothing voice right now. After this, I'm going to be very baffling and confused.
It is a nice change of pace. It is nice to see Bradley be who he desires to be.
Yep, sure. I do like being Sylph, because that means the silver-tongued piece of filth. Sylph. I got this.
Enjoy your time, Sylph. Trunau sees a hero in you. I hope that you can see that hero as well.
One day. I'll just catch you around. And Sylph would go running off to Jess to sell some shit with her. Because she knows who I can sell it with, too.
Yes, Jess is a well-connected merchant of types, and in the time that she's been back, she's been able to check back in on her shop, and, nothing's been stolen, and has been able to open it up a little bit. If you come bearing a crossbow, she could take a crossbow off your hands and give you some incense and trade. Won't even charge you anything.
Sweet. So do I just get rid of the crossbow?
Yup.
Delete item. Boop. So out of character, does Sylph just drink this or something? Or what is it that I'm getting for him?
I'm sorry. Ask that one more time.
Like this divination thing. Like is this like a spell? Like I'm having someone cast a spell for me?
Mm-hmm. So, as you make your way to Sanctuary, find Tayari Varvados and ask for a moment of her time. She'll have to prepare the spell the next day after you request it, as it's not something that you typically just have on prepare.
Okay.
She will have you come back at an appointment time, and you will be able to get a 15-minute window in order to ask some questions. The casting time of the spell is 10 minutes, and it has, all the components required that is in need of that material component that Jess has provided for you. This is, however, a spell that is personal, meaning she has to cast it and she has to be the one that asks the questions. She would
Okay.
explain to you that while similar to augury, this is more powerful. Divination can provide you with a useful piece of advice in reply to a question concerning a specific goal, event, or sorry, no, commune is the one I needed. Derp. That's right, communes, yes or no.
But it would give me like a question like, is this person alive? I'd get a yes or a no.
I'm dumb. That's why I was confused as to why this would be available.
Oh, did I just go and buy the wrong shit?
Zeno gave you the wrong spell because he's being dumb.
So what can I use divination for future reference now that I have this?
Divination tends to be for when you're asking for whether a small bit of advice in a specific goal, event, or activity that is to occur within a week. This
Okay.
advice granted by the spell can be as simple as a short phrase, or it could be a cryptic rhyme or omen. And if your party doesn't act on the information, then, the conditions may change, so the information's no longer useful. Divination is a 70% chance +1 per caster level to actually give you useful information. But it can lead to some interesting benefits.
So
Depending on what
can I
questions you have.
ask it, the divination, if there's someone out there that knows if someone's alive or dead? that therefore, I found the loophole and will answer my question.
It might give you some information, but because Zeno has not tried to screw you out of the actual intended spellcasting that I was looking to put forward on your plate, we're going to say that there is a scroll. The town of Trudau is very thankful for you and your party services. So I've already got a couple other things on the line for some of your other friends. A scroll of commune is of little consequence. Commune is effectively, so you're gonna get same time slot. It's a little bit more expensive because the scroll is complete. I'm still eating all your money. They're
Okay,
just giving this
okay.
to you at a discount.
I was just gonna ask if I unpoof.
Not the first time
crossbow.
I've seen or even been the character spending money on a flavor fluff thing.
Yep. You're contacting the deity. This is still personal. She's still gonna have to ask the questions, but they ask
3
questions
times.
that can be answered with a simple yes or no. The cleric of no particular deity contacts philosophical allied deity. You are allowed one such question per caster level, and the answers are given correct within the limits of the entity's knowledge. Unclear is a legitimate answer because powerful beings of the outer planes are not necessarily omniscient. In cases
You're
where
not
one
always
word
gonna be
answer,
watching certain things.
right? In cases where one word answer would be misleading or contrary to the deity's interest, a short phrase of 5 words or less could also be given as an answer instead. The spell at best provides information to aid character decisions, and the entities contacted structure their answers to further their own purposes. If you lag, discuss answers, or go off to do anything else, the spell will end. Luckily, Tayari is here to, give you this briefing, and so you will be able to ask 9 questions with a yes or no answer as the expected result.
Holy crap! 9?
It is a 9th level caster level that is required for a scroll of commune.
Whoa, that's a lot of questions. Can Sylph bring Ethna into this, or does it only be questions that are on my mind, on his mind?
It is any question that is given to Tayari to ask with a yes or no response as the intended response. If you would like to hold off on this, to come up with some questions that you would like answers to, or the party may want answers to, you can certainly table this.
Yes.
Tayari has this as available for you guys.
as this is being explained to Stealth, he's like, "Oh man, this could be way more useful than just on like 9 of my questions. Because I only have one that's really well, maybe two, but there's so many more to be answered for other people." So he starts like thinking about his team, which is weird for him after just talking with fortune teller. So yeah, he would probably he'd want to wait and then let the party know like what he just like received, and like he has some personal things he wants to do with it, but he wants them to be able to use it if they would choose, if they want to as well. Like oh man. But now there's repercussions to this, because what if Dolgus asks? What if someone asks if Dolgus is a lizard in front of Dolgus? And this thing can't lie.
That answer could actually go either way because you do not specify is Golgus a lizard in body.
That is true. That is true. Because I'm literally I'm gonna have to ask this thing. Like, is anyone from the Cade and Company, other than Bradley, whatever, alive? Because I can't say a name because there's so many of these names.
I see that I have opened up a Pandora's box of possibilities. So
There's
I
a reason that whenever on the rare occasions I do take the improved familiar feat, I often grab, like, say, a consular imp just so I can have, like, once a week commune for, like, 6 questions.
Nice.
So I will go ahead and have this be tabled for the time, and
Okay.
we'll move on to one of our last two members so we can get some time in for them.
Yep. How fun though.
All right, it's a coin flip between one of these and Derek,
Oh,
unless we have a volunteer.
No, it's all one of these. He volunteered to hurt him.
It's Daniel's
Yeah,
turn now.
I'll
I did
volunteer
indeed
just
hear one of
because-
these volunteer himself. Derek is
Yeah,
not lying at all. I totally heard that.
Yeah, I'm volunteering myself just so I can go when I want to and not because the dice chose me.
All right,
No,
all
I'm
right.
gonna go.
This
Never
is
mind.
me this
Fuck
whole
that. It's my
time.
turn.
I
You're
wanna-
damn
I
right.
wanna take
You
it.
take charge of your life.
No, one of these doesn't get to be in charge of his life. I'm going. Fuck that.
One of these just
That's
used reverse psychology on Derek. It was super effective.
You know what? Because you guys are arguing about it, now I am gonna roll a die. One of
Oh,
these
God.
is evens, and
Yeah.
Derek is odds.
Yeah.
One of these is going.
Oh.
All right, I'm going back to my nap. Wake me up when it's my turn. I fell asleep for like half an hour. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh
Hey,
god.
it happens.
Well, one of these. As Gochin, you have returned back to your hometown, and things are looking better than when you left them. Home was wrecked quite a bit, and there are plenty of people who are more than happy to see you. You've come home to find your once very eccentric bachelor pad has been cleaned up, and things are not where you left them in most cases, with the exception of the singular training room of which you left for yourself. Rank and given to evolution at this point.
I'm gonna run to Sarah.
Yeah, she's at Clamor.
Yep, so I'm gonna head over there. I'm gonna kick in the door. Sarah!
Hey, Gochin, you're back.
Look what I
Yeah.
found.
Your friend has come on in and taken up an apprenticeship of sorts. Oh, he's right good smith in his own right.
He looks over. Oh, you got here before me.
I'm always before you. It just starts hammering away again.
Well, Sarah, look at this. As he pulls out a new axe that then transforms into a sword.
Well, then that's quite the nifty trick you got there.
Yeah, it's they told me it's Gorham's Thorn. Have you heard of that?
I know the name of the Lord in Iron. Yeah. Kind of an
Yeah.
orc deity and all that. But you say this is his thorn. It looks like a sword to me.
Yeah, I don't know much about the lore of this whole thing, but it's a pretty sick weapon. Look at this as he transforms it into a different thing.
Mm. Let me unsee that, and I'll try to give you a bit of my own appraisal.
It's a trap. She's gonna take it from
He hands it over.
She
It's for,
pulls
it's for
on
the good of
over.
your family. You have to let them take it.
She pulls it on over to the forge and kind of puts it within some of the quenching flames. Get a good look at it. It's got some nice heat retention to it. That's a hearty blade. Where'd you find it at?
Kinda in a orc settlement.
Right. But stuff like this, you can just lying around.
It kind of wasn't. Kind of had to beat up some guy for it, but it's mine now.
It talks to me in my sleep.
Gosh is just mugging people for their weapons.
He was a bad guy, mind you.
Yeah, no. It's a fairly well-minded weapon. And if it's got transformative properties, it's quite a tier above much of what we get to sell here at Clamor. I'm just glad you didn't forge it.
This is probably one of the best weapons I've ever seen. I hoped to be able to make something like this.
Well, then you start better learning how to wield some magic then. And not any of that shapeshifting shit you do. I'm talking about legitimate, like, magical forging. It's not just something that you just pick up.
Oh,
Squiggles all
I
over that.
feel the magics as he's like, "Meh," and nothing comes out.
Just a
I'll
little
work
toot.
on that.
Yep, just a little toot. Well, it's all right. I'm not exactly a magical person myself. I make master crafts, and I've learned to put some imbuements into weapons. But even my skills only go so far. You get into some of the master smiths out of Vigil, and that's where you'll find some real talent.
So you're saying there's something you can't do?
Yes.
As he runs away off to the books.
You gotta remember, Gutch's got a small, like, frame of what big is in the world. It's a small town boy. He hasn't quite gone to the big city.
Living in a lonely
And
world.
he's
Hey,
off
for
to
a
go
small
read
town,
about
he has big
magics.
dreams.
His best mark has always been his sister, but now he knows that there's a ceiling to that. So Gochin is off to go find the books. Where is he gonna go find the books at?
He's gonna go to either some library type thing if they have that, or some shop that has books.
Well, I mean, you do know that your other sister is a relatively well-practiced mage.
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah, he'd go to her.
You gonna go see a Greet?
Yeah.
All right. She's back at your place.
He goes and kicks in the door to his own place.
Avatars, scales. Gochin, you can't just go knocking in doors. I know it's yours, but you can't just knock them in.
I need you to teach me some things. I need to become an amazing crafter. As he throws his sword down to like kind of show how shiny and like full of magic it is. I need to be able to do this.
Oh, so you finally gave up on trying to beat Sarah then?
No, this is how I get to beat Sarah. She can't do this.
Yeah.
She could do a little bit of it, but she can't make it transform like that. No, I can say that. But have you ever even took a look at like a lick of Arcanumirium?
Miriam.
The practice of arcane magics?
Oh, I never thought it was something that was very important.
Clearly, I know. It's rare that you ever actually come down to my shop, full of what? Curios that are cursed.
Yeah, I figured I'd make everything that was important.
So what? Did Gochin stumble on his sister in the shower or something like that? I kind of heard. It was too far away to communicate, but I heard something about him bursting in when he shouldn't have.
No, no, no. He just burst into his own house and knocked on the door and startled the greet. And now he's trying to learn magic, even though he's never taken a look at a single tome of magic.
Sounds like a Gochin character.
Well,
I mean, sorry, one of these characters.
I'm the one that tends to do the magical enchantments for Sarah here and there. And so I do have the capabilities of teaching you a thing or two. But I don't think that would teach you the lesson that you need to learn.
What do I need to learn?
You've never really given the proper respect to the things that the arcane is capable of doing for you. And I think that you need a little broadening of your horizons. A little
I
lesson in
respect
humility.
it. I've seen some pew 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 from this
Oh, is
other
that so?
person, Ava, shooting
Yes.
lightning bolts from her fingertip.
I know. She's my protege.
So do I need to do that to be able to put that into my sword?
No. But you do need to get some foundational lessons in your head on how magic works. See,
Is
magic
it-
comes with a lot of steps, just like when you need to go to the forge in order to fold the metal and to make sure that it's hammered out in the right way and that it needs to be quenched at the right temperatures. Magic is much more finicky. One single wrong step and it all blows up in your face.
Oh, so you're telling me magic is like women?
She pinches the bridge of her nose and goes, "Yes, Gochin, magic is like women."
That's going to take longer than I thought.
And you know what? I think the perfect person to get your foundation started is your friend Ava. She needs a
Oh.
friend, you know.
She needs a friend.
Yes.
She has lots of friends. We
You've
have a whole
been
party
letting
of
her rile around in wrathful tendencies.
Oh,
needs a
you don't
moral
even know the
compass.
half of it. Those lightning bolts are super wrathful. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of those.
So she needs somebody who's going to make sure that she's all right. Check on her when she's feeling down. Be a proper friend.
Oh, she's down? Well, I can pick her right up. I got the strength for that. As he runs out the door.
Ask nicely. God, Gochin is such a himbo.
Yeah, if Ava sees Gochin just come running in, it's going to be a touch me and die.
Oh, man. As Gochin races off and gets enlisted in magical crafting with Ava to help her make her headband, we can say that this will start some foundational ideas of how magical crafting is actually done there for you, Gochin.
Okay.
As you actually are required to be around when Ava is making her headband,
Mm-hmm.
because she needs your perception skills.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That said, I feel we can move on to Derek.
Oh, there's no Derek here. Derek's dead.
Well,
It's for
Darlin isn't.
Daniel.
Darlin's high on paint fumes at the moment. He can't respond.
Yeah.
What's a bit of Darlin's month looking like?
Well, he would be crafting that folding shield for one.
Folding shield?
Yeah, that's my folding shield.
Link me to item. I've never seen a folding shield.
Da.
With strength, anything can fold.
Oh no, I hear you, but I was just like, I want this.
Yeah, hold on. I'll pull. I'll pull.
I'd say it's probably more difficult when you're doing it 7 times.
So we put in Giant Slayer, General Chat, brah! Special ability folding. On command, as a move action, the wearer can fold the shield, changing its shape from its current form into a buckler, a heavy shield, or a tower shield.
Noise.
That's pretty swanky.
Yeah. So I could go from having my heavy shield to a buckler, making it a little bit lighter, easier to carry, to just a big old honking tower shield.
All right. All right. So you could legitimately become a wall for a second.
Yeah.
Now, okay, this is as a move action, so that's cool. All right. Very shrinky. I do like that.
Yeah. Folding is very useful for shields. Well, that's basically what he would be doing. So a lot of his time would probably be into forge. It would take. It's only +1, so it's like less than a week to craft that. It's like a couple days.
+1 on top. Is your shield already
+2,
magical?
sorry.
Yeah, it's
my
+2.
shield's already magical. So
Yeah.
it would take a week. Yeah, a week.
Yeah,
or so.
a week. Let's go. You guys are able to, get some aids, and while not really taking 20, you should have more than enough assistance from the, other individuals of True Now to give you the aid to make your stuff.
I don't need aid. I can make it without any.
Oh yeah,
Use of
you got enough modifier. You can't fail out of 1.
Pretty sure. Let me double check here. Because full has plus. Oh. We're making. So 3 times. Because, yeah, my smithing right now, without even having the other bonus for my feet on here yet, is an 18. What if I add my feet on there? So I don't think I can really fail.
Cool. Very cool. But I do like. So, outside of making your folding heavy shield, what else is Darling getting up to? Is there anyone he's visiting or chatting with at all?
Not really. He doesn't really know many of the people in this town. Or he just kind of came here because he's in search of shit. So, but he got dragged into all this other crap.
This is fair.
I mean, he might sell his services to the town to make some shit for him if they want. That's
Yeah.
about it.
I mean, any day that you're not necessarily making a magic item for you or your party, you can note down some of those days, and we can see what kind of income you make, just kind of aiding the town of Trunel. The same goes for, Ava, who said that, she was down to kind of help Agritte with some of her magical item crafting. Same is true of anyone else who is looking to actually perform a job of sorts amidst Trunel for a little extra coinage.
What
The
kind of
only
role was
thing I
that?
was making was my shield and Dolgus's Chompy's armor to play +1 or something like that, if I remember right.
Yeah, Gochen's gonna basically be interning.
So like a week would be used. That's about it.
Yeah, sorry, Gochin. As an intern, you don't get paid. You get paid with experience.
Yeah.
You get free room and board. That's your payment. Outside of that, you have to sweep every day. After you've swept, you have to cook a meal for your master.
Oh yeah, Ava is gonna get renamed Master in Gochen's vocabulary.
Oh boy.
If Ava catches you calling her that, she'll pat you on the head and say, "Adequate."
And that sealed it. Positive reinforcement from Ava? Oh, that's hilarious.
What kind of check was it while we're in town to craft things or money?
For you, I would guess probably spellcraft. For Darlin, that would probably be his profession check.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oof.
Wow.
You are quite distracted with other duties, such as teaching Gocha things to not ruin any of the things you guys are crafting. Doesn't necessarily mean like you failed. It just means that you don't make that much coin.
I got dirty too.
Yeah, yeah. So over the course of your time here in True Now, you are able to earn an income equal to your die roll or your result by 10.
Yay.
Master, it doesn't look like people are too willing to pay for your services.
That's because you're here.
Here's the way profession.
Go
things
shower. Or bathe, or whatever it is you do to get clean. Actually, on second thought, do what is others do to get clean, because apparently what you're doing is not adequate.
As he tries to snap his finger and he yells, "Prestidigitation!
See
Prestidigitation!"
Dolgus over there getting clean just by standing in the rain, or so he thinks.
Sing in the rain.
Singing in the rain. What a wonderful feeling.
Anna edited something in her free time post.
I was just adding Arwen's languages, so I didn't forget.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. But yes. So, Darlin, at some point you would be approached by the dwarf siblings, who have joined your caravan. Miss Ingrahild Nargrimmikin and Mr. Umlo Nargrimmikin.
They're twins, aren't they?
No, not quite twins, but they do have a
Brothers
strong
and-
family resemblance, yeah.
Cousins, brother and sister, or just
Brothers
a
and
buddy
sister.
family?
Just brother and sister. So this is where you've been hanging out. Nah,
You know where
that makes
else?
sense.
Where's hanging
Dwarf Forge.
Why would I hang out anywhere else? I mean, besides the tavern. But they don't have the best of ale here.
No, you gotta go to the Killing Ground. That's where the good booze is at. See, the Rambo House, that's where people stay. If you want to get fucked up, you go to the Killing Ground, from what we found.
It's too far away. It just starts hammering away again.
From what I hear, it was said that you and your mates were supposed to have free drinks for life there.
The hammer stops halfway down. Nobody told me this. He slowly lifts his hammer up, puts it back in his cool kit, closes it up nice and pretty. Guess I'm done for the day, and he walks out.
The siblings swallow you. So you came here to look for dwarven artifacts and giant slaying legends, yeah?
Yeah, for the most part. But so far, all I've ran into is giants that need their heads beaten in.
Right. So you know how you guys found those geotabs, right?
Yeah.
And we had taken a look-see at them on the boat ride back.
Mm-hmm.
Low would kind of interject. It would seem that does in fact lead to what we think might be our ancestors' tomb. The Nargrim Steelhand. Does that name ring a bell for you? Don't know if you've got any lore skills, but
I do not. I haven't put anything in lore. I never do, even though I should.
I will say that you could roll me a local check, and because you're a dwarf, if you nab that 10, the name is familiar to you.
Hey!
Yeah. Nab that 10.
I'm not a failure.
He's doing it! He's doing it! You're flying, Peter! But yeah, you recognize the name of Nargrim Skillhand. He is a famed giant hunter, but outside of that, you don't know too much more about him.
Basically, I know the normal shit about him. You know, he was a giant slayer, but that's all I really know.
Well, we've been looking for him because his tomb went basically got lost in the annals of time after a bit. And we find that's a little bit of a disgrace to the family line. You see, he was killed by someone he considered kin, as far as the titles go. And thus made sure to get him the honors that he needed. But if he's forgotten, then the lessons of his betrayer go forgotten as well. And we're not exactly keen on kinslayers now, are we?
Oh, no. Kinslaying is the job.
So, we were thinking maybe you and your fellows would be interested in a little tomb hunt. I'm sure that old great-great-great-grandpappy wouldn't mind seeing some of his tools used to fight the good fight for some of these giants you might be planning on facing.
True.
We mostly want to go and make sure that things of the tomb are brought back to their proper respects. And since you done helped us out quite a bit and made sure it wasn't a plaything for them greenskins any further, I figure we could lend our services. Between me and your scaly-eyed friend Jess, we'll make a pretty good team in terms of keeping the crew well-fed and well-nourished. And I happen to be a pretty good scout of all things. Good at hitting giants, good at hitting orcs. What you say?
Oh, we'll have to convince the others to do it, but I don't see it being a problem of doing a little tomb finding and putting some good tools back to work.
I'm glad you see it that way. Now, my real question. What kind of drink fits your fancy? And how many do you think you can put under before you pass out before I do?
I don't know, but we can find out, and I like ale. He just walks off.
The two will follow you and join in on a merry drinking escapade and relative contest to see who lasts the longest. Most assuredly, with your fortitude and pinballness, you definitely come out on top. But it is a close bout. fellow dwarves understand, game for game.
Shame there's only one dwarf in the party.
Yeah, I know. Such a shame. Such a bloody shame. That said, as we are holding the commune questions as a party thing, does anyone have questions they would like to throw in the pot? You get 9, as Sylph would visit each of you in order to put this table, or put this opportunity on the table for you. You have the opportunity to ask 9 questions. Yes or no answers are the expected result, although uncertainty can occur. Just to get a sense of what questions we do currently have, feel free to post them in the game chat box and put them forward. The geode was not the mud-crusted emerald. That is just a sellable item amethyst.
Sweet. I want to get rid of that.
It will sell value for value. So whatever the value of that emerald is, it will sell for that value.
Talking about game chat as in like what we're in now?
In Foundry.
In Foundry, okay.
Yep. If you would prefer to keep them to yourself and send them to me as a direct message, you can also do that. That is fine. I will let you guys know when we hit 9, but understand that the party is going to find them out when the spell is cast.
I have no real questions, so.
I don't either.
When Syl comes to Goten, he's going to ask, oh, yes or no question? Okay. How do I learn magics faster?
Retrain.
Uncertain.
Whoa.
Was not a yes or no question.
So we each get a question.
Comes back as no.
For the most part, it is a group pile of questions. It just has to amount to 9. Once the spell is started, you cannot discuss in between questions being answered.
So does that mean Dolgus has a question?
Yeah, so long as Sylph kind of brings this opportunity up to Dolgus.
Yeah, he brings it up to him.
And who is this communing with?
This, because Tayari is the one who is doing the communing, is communing with presumably Iomade.
I got no questions for that woman. He turns and Darla just turns and walks away. The wannabe god.
The woman-made god.
Oh, the wannabe god.
Yeah, I don't think Dolgus's normal questions would be fitting for Iomade.
What's something that pertains to like? Are we done with like our main quests that our characters know of?
Currently, yes, you are in downtime. Okay. You suspect that you may want to follow up on this Volstis lead, and that the council may bring you further information for it. But for now, you are kind of waiting on that call.
We're trying to find Volstis?
You know of an encampment in Minderhall's Valley that is rallying giants. It seems like a threat, but the council said that they will go ahead and look into things for you all as kind of a prelude. You are now just waiting on the council's return information.
Okay, so save like that type of suspense for story.
I mean, you could certainly ask prior questions to it, by all means. But again, you're only getting yes or no answers. And things can change based on circumstance.
Ava doesn't have any questions that she cares to ask the gods. She is an atheist, so.
Just like the gods are useless, they've got nothing for me.
They're very powerful, but they aren't worthy of the respect they demand of others. Because they demand it of others. Ava's general philosophy is if you need others to worship you, you shouldn't be asking them to worship you, because then that means you're not worthy of it.
So then she's a worshiper of Grotus because he doesn't ask anybody to worship him.
She appreciates him more than the others, but she doesn't worship him because she doesn't like his shtick.
Oh, I'm gonna go. My arm is really starting to hurt. I need to prop it back up.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get it.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Later.
We
See you.
If we don't
Does-
have 9 questions, we can also hold this until next session if you really want.
Does the town know about like Roddy's like fuck ups?
The High Council probably does, as he was kind of put into y'all's care as kind of a, like, you are doing this whether you want to or not kind of thing.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, I know he was foisted upon us. It was rude and awful.
The town definitely knows about it because Gochin was talking about the stuff that happened, like how he took on a chieftain 1v1 combat, and how Roddy just stood there and did nothing.
That is definitely getting fact checked as Gochin's spreading tales.
Man, that's a lot of questions to think of for one person.
Oh, it's just the nature of the goddess that I'm not communicating that question because that wouldn't be Dolgus's thing.
It'd still be funny to hear Dolgus ask another deity what's on his mind.
So what are you thinking about?
All right, I'll waste the question. Does
What is-
Balrog approve of the job I'm doing?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Put it on the list.
I don't know, I want to like ask a question like with Roddy around that would help him like get some type of clarity.
You certainly could ask for him to be present.
I'm still would probably do. He probably would have went to Roddy like within his like gathering of the rest.
All right, sure.
Because he wouldn't just like exclude him.
If we're running out of or don't have enough questions to ask, Gochin could ask, can he have dual citizenship with Torag and Gorum?
Ooh.
What's he asking? Sorry.
Oh.
What do you
To,
ask?
to be allowed to worship the two gods.
Torag and Gorum.
Type it out. Put it
That's
in.
not a yes or no question, is it?
Yeah, it is. It is straight up a yes or no question. It is is he capable of being able to worship both in equal measure, effectively?
Okay.
Yeah, he's
I
looking
missed
for
it,
if
just
he
the
can get
first
a.
3 or 4 words there.
Yeah. Okay, I got 1, 2. I got 3 questions. If Gocha puts in that one, that's 4. He just has to type it out instead of being lazy.
What's Roddy's last name?
Grath.
Okay.
That was quick.
Graph or graph?
Grath. TH.
Freedom.
Ah. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 if Gochin types this question. Got 4 more.
It's coming. I just want to make sure I write it right.
Is Ava sure she doesn't have a question?
No.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
That was a joke one.
Doesn't have a question mark, doesn't count.
Haha.
Yep.
That's
Eva
just
does have a
pontificating.
question, but she doesn't want to ask in front of the group, and she doesn't want to ask this god. So
Duh.
Oh, Sylph could ask if Ava will regret not asking that question.
I will I'll take upon that question and give it a freebie. Uncertain.
Maybe we got a decent amount of questions.
Hmm.
Come on, Edna, ask the age-old question. Does Roddy love me? And Sylph
No.
would clamper his hands.
You can
in a
put
cup.
that. You can put that in as a question, dipshit. That would be definitely a Sylph question.
Aw.
Oh man.
okay, you know what? Ava will ask a different question. She's curious about the answer, mostly because she wants to see a. She anticipates a biased response, but
I will say, Sylph, do you want a follow-up to your first question?
A fa- I
You're asking
yeah. I need to rephrase that.
you're asking broadly on that.
so no question.
Yeah, hang on.
That's what Ava will ask. It's hard to do this with yes or no, but
That seems to be a dual question.
what do you mean?
Just the way that it's phrased, it seems to be
She's-
two questions.
She's trying to determine. She doesn't want it to be taken as a "oh no" because you can leave type of thing. More of a basically, if she continues with the group, are the Giants the biggest threat to her life? as opposed to something like one of the party members or something,
Mhm.
or maybe a dragon somewhere.
One, two, three, four, 6, 7. I got 2 more questions open. Goodness gracious. That's 9. Were these all whispered to me? I don't actually know. Or were they all
No.
public?
No,
They're all
no, I can
public.
see them all.
Public.
Okay. All right.
You should probably put a time limit on that safety, Velris. Otherwise, it could be a results hazy sort of thing. Like maybe
Yeah,
say
that's why-
within the.
I mean, future prosperity kind of keeps that gap open.
I think what Andrew's trying to get at is that it has a certain degree of vagueness where you may not get an answer that
Because
you
of
would be
how because
intending.
of how far out in the future it also pertains.
Oh,
to.
I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Or if you were asked like within the next year, like basically, could the horse muster another attack all this far down? You know, in the next year would be a different thing from asking, is it going to be invaded again by orcs at any point in the future? That's basically the difference.
Yeah. You also have to consider that with that question, knowing that there is a giant threat mounting, like you may already know that it's never necessarily safe.
Okay.
So if you're wondering if it will be safe while you are gone, or like from a certain sort of force, that might help narrow that question down for an answer that would be satisfying for you.
I think I probably didn't pay attention closely because I thought it was just like a giant attack like somewhere or like a threat somewhere. I didn't know it was like towards Chernow.
Well, it's not necessarily true now.
Oh,
You
okay.
know that a force of giants is mounting, and that is not a good thing for anybody involved.
True.
Whether or not they're
Okay.
going to attack Chernow, people at large, like,
Oh, there we go then. Is Chernow going to be attacked soon?
Again, defined soon.
Within the next 6 months.
I will go ahead and start up towards the top. I will ignore Sil's first Cade and Company question, as we did have a revision for it. As Tayari weaves the ritual of communion with Iomade, the incense and candles and other accoutrements, as well as a relatively elaborate holy symbol is placed before the party, who is all kind of gathered to receive upon the answers. The first question that Tayari asks is, does Buckgrug approve of the job Dolgus is doing? It is here that the petals within the water before this, larger, viewing room seem to shift. Tyrese, looks over to Dolgus and goes, "It seems you have a yes."
Dolgus will enjoy a what he would consider a traditional like lizard folk victory dance.
As she moves on to the next question, she stirs the waters a little bit to gain a little bit of clarity. Did Iomedae abandon Ethne? The incense and candles seem to dim darkly a little bit, in which she would look to you, and there would almost be a glimmer of light that seems to shine from the stained glass windows of Sanctuary upon Ethne, almost giving an irradiating, glow, an aura of light, almost. It would seem no. She has not abandoned you. After which she would proceed to the next question. One which gives her a curious glance between Sylph and Roddy. She casts her glance back to the waters, and after a moment, seems to have a expression of, well, not so much confusion, but more of a, that's interesting. It would appear that even Iomedae is uncertain as to the nature of Roddy's redemption. Maybe it is because redemption is not for her to give. Cannot say.
Ooh, your answer is spooky, Roddy. I'd be worried about that one.
It's a little embarrassing. Anyway, next question. Gochin puts forth his question, and the lights seem to flicker with the incense and the candles, and the waters ripple as the light seems to cover only half of the well of water. It would appear that Iomedae seems to believe it a possibility. We've been given a yes, Gochin.
Oh.
While that may not necessarily mean you have the grace, Iomedae's answer remains the same. Moving on to Ava's, as she is not allowed to discuss too much other than to deliver the answer. She looks to Ava. Are the giants the biggest threat to Ava's life should she continue with this group? The waters seem to ripple of their own accord, the lights dimming to almost a twinkle of light. Sanctuary itself seems almost devoid of this presence that had previously been within the chapel to the, Crusader. Iomedae seems to believe that there is a bigger threat in your life than the giants. What that means, I am unsure of.
Curious.
Moving on. Will Roddy's dream to move from Trunau come true? Yet again, Iomade seems uncertain as a mixed result of ambiance and light kind of reflects within the chapel here. Roddy continues to get further uneasy about the nature of this ritual as Tayari moves on to the next question. Is there anyone else from the Caden Company slaughter other than Sylph yet alive? It is with this that the room returns to a sunny disposition as Tayari would look to Sylph and give a smile. Seems that there is a yes in your future.
A look of fear would wash over Sylph's face.
Returning to the questions, Tayari would note the curious placement of, will Jess pick Gochin over Sylph? Jess, who is not presently here.
Why do people think Jess and Sylph have something going on?
There is an uncertain response as Tayari would look to at the and it would appear that Iomade has nothing to say on the matter of romantic interests. My guess is that she deals in actionable actionable subject material and leaves the flirtatious trivialities to her allies within Shellen, or maybe even Desna.
There is a chance.
Yeah.
Back to Sylph's question. Is Trunau going to be attacked in the next year? The light remains a vibrant glow, as if to answer yes. But as Tayari is about to deliver said answer, it would appear that there is a denotion at the end of it. A single black ripple almost starts to swirl from the midst of the pool, leading to an uncertain result, leading off from a positive no. Or, effectively, Trunau won't be attacked, but it could if time runs out.
Interesting.
It is with this that the ritual ends. We're all left with your answers. Whether these led to more questions is something you'll have to ponder upon yourselves. As it will be shortly after this that the Council of Trunau has readied their own reports for what is to come for your adventure ahead. When you all wake within the next week, each of you have been able to gather your gear, gather your commissions, the works that you have been seeking. But something of particular note seems to be left at the Longhouse where Roddy and Sylph reside. It would appear that postage has been sent from Vigil, arriving upon the wagon with a certain guest, as Sylph is requested to make his appearance at the Ivory Hall.
Just Sylph?
Just Sylph.
Oh. Okay.
Now, Roddy, of course, is going with you, because,
Oh, okay.
you know, his dad kind of works at the Ivory Hall and is part of the Black and Blade. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
And it's not stopping you from stopping anywhere else before going to the Ivory Hall. It is just that you are requested to make your presence at the Ivory Hall. You may, of course, collect your friends if you so chose.
Yeah. Will you guys come with me? This is this is weird.
It is quite suspicious. And I'm quite curious.
And Roddy's family, they kind of have a history with putting charms on me. I don't.
It was one time.
Once is
Well-
all it takes.
Yeah,
With you.
Ava hit. Yep. Ava's
I'm not
right.
letting Roddy's family do anything to you.
They'll probably
Oh,
do
but
weird
anyone
stuff,
else is
guys.
fine, right?
Ed and I would, Ed and I would go up to Rise like, "You're fine, dude. Let's just go. Ignore them." And start heading off.
Is Dolgus joining the party?
Is Olga's invited?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, is Chompy invited?
Chompy
Oh,
was
well,
invited
well,
first.
Yes.
Olga's will ride in on Chompy.
This is awesome.
It is as you all head to the Ivory Hall that it seems like a retinue of Halden guards seem to have taken station outside of the Ivory Hall. There's about 4 soldiers in almost lionish regalia that sends a chilling chord down Silt's spine. These are the same Lion Watch that come from his homeland. And why they are this far north is utterly beyond him.
This isn't fun at all anymore, guys.
So if we
What's the
knew you were a
problem?
coward, but what the hell, man?
Please don't be my dad. Please don't be my dad. Please don't be my dad. Please don't be my dad.
Gochin puts his hand on Sil's shoulder. Don't worry, I'll beat up anything you need me to.
My dad spanks really hard. It hurts.
Your father will not lay a hand upon you.
It is as you enter the Ivory Hall that you are led to the council chamber, where Ruby, Cursed, and a few others of the council are in attendance. And seated at the end of the table nearest to where Ruby resides, on your entrance stands up an older gentleman in quite refined noble garments and Talden heraldry. Silth, you are staring down the visage of Lord Bradley Landergrem the First.
God, dumb dad.
And this is where we're going to end the session.
Ava's got a death glare on her face.
You fucker, where were you when we needed you?
Welcome to
She's
Book
ready to
3.
smite this guy if Sylph so much as flinches the wrong way.
What's
See,
Aw.
his name again?
his mother is like super nice, but nope, not the dad.
So
He
wait,
is a
this
strict
still-
man.
This
This-
is still that. Just come all the way down to now. Find
I
his
don't
name.
know why, but this is interesting.
This is Lord Bradley Landergrem the First.
Isn't it Baron? Shouldn't it be Baron? I thought it was Baron.
Something like that, yeah. I have to look back at the notes. But yes.
Baron, yeah.
Yep. That said, we are going to hold session here and pick it back up. And, yeah. Cards that I've been holding for a hot minute.
Oh man.
Don't
So
worry,
interesting.
Book 3 has so much more for me to start flexing. But, welcome, friends. We're kicking the adventure off
Oh yeah.
with a little bit of drama.
Yay!
Family drama at that.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Good news,
There's no
Sylph.
drama like family drama.
Ava will more than happily smite your family if you so much as ask.
Yeah, and if anyone seems to be harming you in any way, Gochin is going to step in front.
Oh yeah.
Chompy is fine with eating them.
That's awesome.
Welcome back, guys. It's been a while, and I've missed this. So,
Mhm.
That was fun.
How dare you, I say. Act like I don't have a game where I kind of keep things in limbo for much longer.
Actually, this is very therapeutic.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Pius has a merry band of rodents, and Sylph is getting family drama dropped on him.
You still need to find
Do
the
you have a
bat
guy on the
with
side?
the Odd
Oh.
Family.
I
So
do have
Sylph.
to find the bat.
There's going to be like a therapist on the side. So Sylph, how does this make you feel?
Sylph
Does
just shakes.
Does the nature of your genitals make you question your mother's love for you?
He tears his pants. Oh God, no.
I don't know what the actual questions are supposed to be, but I just know that's the joke about like crude based psychology. It's about your genitals and your parents.
It all goes back to the mother.
Well, no, I'm looking forward to next time.
Mhm.
I had to leave us on a cliffhanger. It's been a while. I need these cliffhangers to keep things interesting.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Good
That-
luck.
Now, Zeno, the real question: are we gonna have a game on Thursday?
I am hoping so because I do have things planned for it.
Jonas needs to become a turtle again.
I just one might need to commune with the future. No, I'm sorry. I got bad news. You're just have a really awful day at work that day. Like your boss is just gonna be on your head, and like that one bitch is just gonna be all over you.
Yeah, here's the thing. I fear not my bosses any further.
Nope.
Not a single lick.
Nope.
Yeah, they have no power over me.
Yeah, a polar shift has happened, and it's slowly becoming okay.
Oh no, it's just the moment that I knew that things were going down the way they were going down, I just could chuckle to myself because the one that's becoming my technical direct boss is a novice, and they will remain a novice until I deem them otherwise. And
Yep.
then the one that is my overarching higher boss of the building basically has always like been in my corner if I absolutely need to push a button. The highest boss that I was reporting to is effectively going to be leaving, and like while there's respect, there's still like get fucked, get out of here. I don't have to deal with you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Is the building probably still going to burn? Yes.
Yes.
Necessarily care? No. Am I practically just gonna coast because I could get away with it? 1000%. Am I still gonna do my job? Duh. I am
Yeah.
not unprofessional. I'm just gonna get to sit here and make a mockery of all the fuck ups that happen in the process. But I am determined to make sure that Thursday goes as I need it to, and to have all the energy I want to have a full-blown wedding ceremony prepared and fun shit. And hopefully, if we're on schedule and on pace, the approach to the Island of Empty Eyes.
Meanwhile, I will decide whether or not I am not running any session because 2 of you are missing, and whether or not I will run a mini session instead for the 2 that show up. Maybe.
Oh right, Ulrich's birthday.
Yeah, but
Well,
he's
It's Ulrich's.
it is Ulrich's birthday, but he'll be hanging with his friends, so we don't really have to do a whole lot of.
And
The
were you guys?
the greatest gift a parent can give: freedom to go hang out with your friends.
Mhm. And were you two planning on going to Dan's or not?
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Don't look at me. You've mentioned like one thing about it, and that was it. You said that Steph said something to me, and I never got a message about it, so I don't know. I don't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, Dan said that Stephanie wrote you, and I asked you if she did,
And I didn't have a message.
because
so
I don't have any information on it.
I don't know.
well, y'all let
I
me know
will-
how that's going.
Yeah, I'll catch y'all later.
Later.
See
Welcome
ya.
back.
No,
Unlike the
thanks.
last interlude, if we do have an interlude.